What's up, mountain movers? My name is Drew Doss, Chief of Staff at Harp Sling. I'm coming to you today in my offices. If you know me well, I'm taking calls from the road all the time. And right now, our family, I was trying to get to the mountains to produce this video, but we just made it short. So we're in New Mexico right now. But wanted to give you three quick things that I wish I learned way early on. Number one is find your tribe early. Number two is embrace the awkwardness. And then number three is trust your gut intuitions. So number one, find your tribe early. I remember way early on, even as a middle schooler, always having people in my life that were one step ahead of me, whether that was in middle school, high school, college, in early career, into my career. And so what I have been reminded of constantly is that the people in my life really influence everything about my attitude, my intuition, my ambition. People challenge me. So find your tribe early. And that's what I love about Mountain Movers is Kevin and the team, they are building an army of people that are completely on purpose. Number two, embrace awkwardness. Back when I was a pastor for about 10 years, I remember saying that awkwardness was my spiritual gift. And what I meant by that wasn't necessarily be the weird kid in school or anything, but it was this intentional act of always going first, and not in like I know Simon Sinek just had a book that leaders eat last. So this kind of jumps in the face of that. But the reality is, for me to embrace awkwardness meant that I had to make the first approach, to say hello to the first person, to go put myself out there instead of being as scared or afraid in my own head, in my own self. So constantly go out and be the first person to make that connection, whether that's at the grocery store, shake the first hand in the meeting, like talk to the first person when you're on the site for the grounds. Talk to people, make the first interaction, because typically it ends up better for you. And then number three, trust your gut intuitions. I have had to really work on this and understanding that whatever my gut is telling me is typically right, and I have to trust that. Trusting that what I have, the abilities that I have, the experience that I have, means that I have to trust my gut in situations. The intuition, what I describe it as, is your mind and your soul connecting and recognizing that. And so over the last, I want to say 3 months, I've been having a conversation in my head with my grandfather's grandfather. So I'm a 5th generation contractor. And I go back to this time and time again, like, what would my grandfather's grandfather think of me? And more than think of me, what would he experience? What would I tell him about my life? So my grandfather's grandfather, he would say, like, man, you're on a trip to Colorado, and you can travel 70 miles an hour in a vehicle that has air conditioning. He would be like on top of the world about it. And then I would tell him, yeah, my grandfather's grandfather, yeah, I could even hop on a plane and be in Denver in an hour and a half. And he would essentially ask me, what is an airplane? And then I would tell him about my life, and hopefully he would say, man, I am so incredibly proud of how you've produced, and how you have stayed on purpose in many things. And then he would ask the question, so is your life better? And I would have to take a step back and say, you know, I'm super stressed. I'm anxious, or it feels like I'm anxious. And the reality is that he would say, you have all the luxuries that I never had, yet you are incredibly stressed. So I want to encourage you all today that whatever you're dealing with, whatever you're going through, it's a lot better than your grandfather's grandfather. And I was reminded by this quote earlier this week, that you worry too much for someone that figures it out. You worry too much for someone that figures it out. So go move mountains today. Go be on purpose today, because your community we as the mountain movers will have a big impact in the DFW and the surrounding areas because we live on purpose. See ya.